at the end of the day, it's going to be an asset that we can use, whether it's a player we draft, whether it's a pick we trade, whatever. Like, this is a chance to add assets, add talent to our roster, and we're really excited about that.
Hey Nick, I'm Aya after you for the next. How does the Mercury do the scouting for the upcoming free agency period?
For free agency?
Yeah. Or the draft in general.
For the draft?
Either one.
Either one. So our free agency scouting, is done throughout the course of the WNBA season. So we do that live. We'll do that some on film. And then obviously we've got, these last few months where we can watch a ton of film and dive into that. Since those players aren't playing, we watch overseas film as well. And then for the college draft, we'll be watching all year. We'll be traveling in person. We'll be visiting with college coaches, trying to dig into their character and their personalities, as well as watching them in person and on film to see how they can play.
Thank you.
Nick, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
How valuable is the player's input when making a decision like this? And yes, you guys have number 3, but how valuable is their input on who you guys will draft?
Our own players on our current roster?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not everything, but we want everyone to feel like they've got a voice. These players have been playing, they've been watching, this is who they're going to play with. So that's part of the job, is we gather inputs from everybody, we weigh all those things, and then we come up with, what the best decision is for the organization.
You talked about just adding a big asset, and it is, number 3 is a big asset. When you think about the combination of what you could do in free agency plus number 3, do you feel like, what you want to do to elevate this team from last season, those opportunities are there for you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think those opportunities exist. I think they would have existed, whether we got 1, 2, 3, or 4. And so I'm really excited about the combination of what we can do with this team, not only next month and in January and February, but then all the way into the draft and hopefully take a positive step forward next season.
You mentioned the pick as an asset. How do you balance potentially using it as something that can be moved as an asset, and also the other side of it, taking a player that's very talented?
Yeah, impossible to say. I mean, this thing's, we're 15 minutes removed from finding out we got 3. But, I think all those options are on the table. And, we probably won't know that until we get into sort of the January, February period where some of the player movement happens. And then, it'll still be on the table once we get to the draft in April. So I think everything's on the table right now, and we'll analyze that as it comes.
Can you comment a little bit?
Look at the roster a little bit. How much does this team need to turn it around?
Turn the roster around? Yeah, I mean, listen, we won 9 games last year, so we're going to have to make some changes. But I think with, as we talked about with this pick and with being able to add some free agents, I'm really excited about just sort of our ability to add some talent to this roster. And I think in this league, you can turn things around relatively quickly. And we just want to take one positive step forward next year. And we'll keep building on that year after year after year.
We haven't had a chance to talk to the person since Tolliver was hired. So could you just comment a little bit on that, and then maybe where you stand as far as the rest of the staff?
Yeah, we're really, really excited to add Christy. Just all across the board, her personality, her basketball acumen, the experience she's had in this league. She's won championships. She's been in big moments. We're thrilled to have her. We're thrilled she chose to come work with us. And I think she'll be a tremendous asset to our team, our staff, our fan base, everything. And we're making progress on the rest of the staff. Nothing new to report there. But we're excited for kind of what we can build. And, we said it originally when we hired Nate, we've said it all along, like a huge reason I'm here is the investment that Matt's willing to put towards the team. And I fully trust us to come into next season with a really, really prepared and thorough and robust staff.
This is your first draft with the Mercury as a GM. Is there going to be anybody you're going to call or seek advice from, during the months leading up to it?
That's a great question. I've got plenty of friends and mentors in the business that I'll certainly ask their advice and lean on. Amongst them, Jim Pittman. I mean, I'm so thankful that he's still with the organization. He's a great friend. I'm going to lean on Jim a ton over the next year, 2 years, however long I'm here. So I'm really thankful for him, but certainly I've got friends that I'm going to call, and I know it's my first time. So I'm going to try to lean on those people and learn as best I can.
Next up on Zoom, we'll have Jesse Morrison.
Hi, Nick. Good to see you. I wanted to ask about Christy Tolliver as well. Just when did those conversations start with her, and kind of when you all decided that that was going to be a hire that you all made? Because I mean, she hadn't announced her retirement or anything.
Yeah, I won't get into kind of the specifics of when we started talking to her or when we knew that was a possibility. All I'll say is we were thrilled when we found out it was a possibility. It was an absolute no-brainer once we found out she might be interested in coaching in the W, and that she was interested in being with our organization. And so, like I said earlier, we're absolutely thrilled to have her. I think she brings a wealth of experience, a wealth of knowledge, and we couldn't be more excited to have her help as we guide this thing, hopefully, like I've talked about, take a positive step next year, and she's going to be a huge part of that.
Matt looked a little disappointed, probably because he's such a competitive guy. But did you feel any of that initially, even knowing, number 3 is going to be a good pick, but did just the fact they didn't come out at 1 or 2?
I think it's human nature. Once they start to reveal the picks, your heart rate starts to go up a little bit. But I think our whole organization has done a pretty good job of being quite pragmatic all week. I mean, if there was something we could do to control it, we absolutely would. But it's literally, it's math, it's odds, it's ping pong balls. And so I was quite ready for anything to happen today. The odds actually stated that this scenario was the most likely. So this is no surprise, and we're excited, and we'll wake up tomorrow and get back to work just like we would have had it been a different result.
Going off of Jeff's point, I mean, some of the fans here were a bit disappointed with the number 3 pick. Just how do you kind of encourage them to stay faithful and hopeful throughout this process?
I think you can do that a variety of ways. I mean, no matter what, we're gonna add talent in free agency. Like this draft lottery is not the end all be all for defining our success moving forward. And then I'd say, go back and look at, past drafts in this league and every league. You can find talent anywhere across the board, and it's our job to go try to do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.